All right, in this one we're going to examine an SQL injection attack as it's happening. So we'll look through the steps and see the results. We're going to use a packet capture on the CyberOps workstation to do that or to analyze that. So if you go to your CyberOps workstation, log in as analyst. And then we're going to open Wireshark. So we'll go up to Applications, CyberOps, Wireshark. And we click Open. And we want to go to our lab support files if it's not already there. And then we want to find SQL lab.pcap. Highlight that, click Open. Just looking at the whole pane, this is 8 minutes of traffic capture. That's how long the SQL injection attack took. The source, or not, well, the source here and the destination. The two addresses involved in this attack are 10.0.2.4 and 10.0.2.15. Now we want to follow the attack. So let's go down to line 13 and right-click on that and click Follow HTTP Stream. All the source traffic is in red, and the destination traffic or the destination device responding is in blue. So now what we want to do is we want to go and look for a term in here. So we're going to go to Find. We're going to click Find, and you're going to type 1 equals 1. And click Find. And it did find it. Well, so what this tells the attacker is that it is vulnerable to SQL injection. Meaning, they entered a search term or a query into the user ID that would be true. And instead of the application or SQL responding with some sort of an error, it actually responded with a record that was in its database. So that tells the attacker that this SQL, this server, is vulnerable to attack. So then they move forward with that. So let's move on further. Let's close this up, and we're going to clear, so we get all of clear our filter here, and then we get all of it back. Go to line 19 and click Follow HTTP Stream. So right-click, go down to Follow HTTP Stream, and then again we're going to search 1 equals 1 again. So we'll find 1 equal 1. And then we click Find. Close this up. Now we've gotten all kinds of information. And again, our database didn't respond with an error. It actually responded with more information. Right. The database name is DVWA, and the database user is DVWA at localhost. And we can see there's multiple user IDs or multiple user accounts being displayed in here. Now we can go ahead, we'll close this one and clear the display. So the attacker continues and starts targeting or getting more specific information. So now we go to line 22, click on it, right click, select Follow HTTP Stream again. And in the red here, we're sending a request to 10.0.2.15. We click Find, 1 equals 1, click Find. When it finds it, let's just go ahead and click the X here. In this instance, the attacker enters the query in the user ID in an effort to get the version number or the version. Right there, specifically there. So now you know what the version is. Close the follow the stream for this third packet now that we've looked at. And you can kind of notice, maybe you haven't yet, but you can kind of notice as we've gone through each packet, we've gone through 3, we're getting a little more information each time. The first time it was like, is it going to respond with an error or not? And it didn't. It responded with giving me a record from the database. Then the next time we got a little more information. We got multiple records, and we got the database name. And then this last time, this last part of the attack, not last part, the one we just did right now, resulted in the version. The software version, specifically, let me be clear. So now we can go ahead and close this up, clear the display again. Well, what do we think we're going to get from the next packet? So if we right-click on 25 and follow the stream, this time we're going to click Find. We're going to type in users. I think it was users. And click Find. We found users, so we can click Cancel. At this point, the attacker has figured out that there's a lot of information that can be gotten from this SQL server. So they enter a query into the user ID search box for the target to get all the tables in the database. So if we look our 1 or 1 equals 1 select null table from information schema dot tables gives us all that information. So what would the modified command of 1 or 1 equals 1 union select null column name from the information schema dot columns where table name equals users do for the attacker? It would end up being filtered by the occurrence of the word users. So it would be shorter, the output would be shorter. We can go ahead and close this and look at the last part. We'll clear the display again. Now the attack ends with finding password hashes. So if we right-click on packet 28 and go to Follow HTTP Stream, now we want to click Find 1 equals 1 and click Find. So now we find that. We just click Cancel here. And again, they entered the query 1 or 1 equals 1 union select user, comma password from user's number into the user ID search box of the target to get the username and password hashes. Let's go ahead and find. So the question is, which user has the password hash of 8D something something, whole bunch of numbers, and then it ends in 216B. So let's find. Here we go. It's this one right here. It starts with 8D and ends with 216B. So the user then, first name is, the user is 1337. So I'm not going to do this part for you, but I want you to do it because it's really cool. Go to crackstation.net and put the password hash in there to find out what the password is in clear text, and make sure you get it in your document. So that was the end. We followed an SQL attack. What did it begin with? It began with just finding out if the database was vulnerable, the server was vulnerable. Then we got, was it users? I think we got a user. We got some users. Then they went further to find the database name, the SQL version, and then they were able to pull all kinds of tables of information. We realized that, hey, I know the version, I know the database, I can pull all these different tables, and it pulled all kinds of data about all kinds of users. And then lastly, we conclude with our usernames or our names and our password hashes. And then you guys are going to input those hashes in to find out what the clear text password is. So we've just followed an SQL injection attack.